welcome to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle,
And I'm Andy.
and our goal tonight is to leave you in stitches. What's going on tonight, Andy?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that. Oh, hey, did you catch that music?
I did catch that music. What'd you think of it?
I thought, it was like a rumbling thing. Like, I thought maybe some subterranean creature was, like, had me stalked as a meal, and I was about to bite it. And then he just told me the friendly name of a comedy podcast. And I thought, wow, this subterranean monster was great.
Well, that's one way of describing it. Out of nowhere, a guy emailed us and said, hey, I have a bit of music for you guys. I heard you guys are looking for a theme song, and, would you guys like to use mine? I made this. What do you guys think? And with a little back and forth and some editing and everything, I was like, dude, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Like, this is great, His name is Will, by the way, and that's what his name is on the email, at least. I hope that's his name, because that's what he's getting a shout out for. Hi, Will. Thank you so much. Your song is awesome.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, so that takes care of that. Will is awesome. Hopefully, if he's listening to this, maybe he might even want to do some future work with us. So stay in touch, dude, because if you like doing this kind of stuff and you like hearing your name on a podcast and hearing how great you are, then we'll tell you you're great all day long as long as you keep doing free shit for us.
Yeah, I'm really good at doing verbal hand jobs. Totally do that.
Yes.
How does that feel, Will?
So,
do you like it?
So we're back, right?
We are back. Oh, and some things happened while you were gone. It looks like somebody's taking a trip with me to Chuck E. Cheese's.
I'm taking a trip, and I am going into the ball pit as I said I would. If we got 5 whimsy yeses, we in fact got more than 5 whimsy yeses. You fine people out there disappointed me yet again. Thank you so much. What's crazy is as the whimsy yeses are just collecting, and I'm editing that episode of the podcast. Actually, it dawned on me that I said, if someone says whimsy no, I'll count that against the total score. And I thought to myself, who in their right mind would say whimsy no to making another grown man go to a ball pit in Chuck E. Cheese and take a selfie from there? Like, who would do that?
Who indeed?
Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah. So
we defied all of your odds, and we are going to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and we are going to eat some fabulous pizza, watch a nightmare fuel-induced animatronic show. I hear they might have salad for you. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been there since, before smartphones, or cordless phones for that matter. Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. And we are going to take some selfies in a ball pit and maybe make a small child cry. I'm not 100% sold on that last one. Oh, who am I kidding? I think that we should make that priority number 1.
Well, if I'm considered a small child, that'll be easy to do.
Oh my God. We can see if it's contagious like dogs barking. We can just put you crying in the middle of Chuck E. Cheese and see how many kids follow you. I think that would be a great social experiment.
Why does it have to be me?
Because you're already volunteering to cry. I'm not going to cry. What am I going to cry about?
I'm not really volunteering, but yeah. Okay, yeah, so needless to say, I'm not going to be enjoying the pizza that Andy is.
Oh, right, because you want to worry about your carbs or something.
Yeah, that's why I can't, unfortunately. I could plan it to be on a cheat day. There are such a thing in my diet. But unfortunately, the next possible time that me and Andy are going to be able to go, we've already discussed it, is way too soon for it to be a cheat day for me. So, unfortunately, it's not going to work that way. So we're still going to go. We're still going to have the ball pit. We're still going to watch the animatronics. We're just not going to both eat pizza. He'll get pizza. I'll get something there. I'm sure they'll have something there. If not, maybe I can actually eat somewhere else. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll definitely post pictures, maybe take a video or two.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely have some sort of media for the social media. So yeah, speaking of while I was gone though, how about if I get in a little bit into where I have gone and why I was gone?
Yeah, we were doing a team building exercise and drinking ourselves silly, right?
That was the plan, wasn't it?
It was the plan, but then you had to have a life. God, why?
No, that's the worst part about it. So, for those that don't know, we live on the East Coast, New Jersey, actually to be exact.
856.
Right, South Jersey. I was going on a camping trip with my wife, my mother-in-law, and a few other friends to Virginia, a place called Cherrystone. It's a campground. It's right outside the Chesapeake Bay. It's actually on the Chesapeake Bay, actually.
Hey, isn't that also a playful name for a clitoris?
So we were there, or they were there, I should say. They left early. I'm just gonna go right past it. They left prior to me.
Fair.
And I can't take that much time off of work. Well, I didn't want to take that much time off of work. So I was like, you know what, no big deal. You guys go ahead. I'll drive down there in the middle of the week when I can and take a couple days off of work and just enjoy the rest of the weekend there with Labor Day and what have you. I already had off. So I only ended up taking off a day and a half. So we left on a Wednesday. We, meaning me and my wife's cousin, who took a ride with me. He's awesome for that. Shout outs to Brandon. Anyway, we decided to go on a Wednesday night after work, and we drive up there. It's a 4.5 hour drive, and I get there and I'm greeted with my wife, who is slightly intoxicated. Who am I kidding? A little bit more than slightly. And that's awesome. I'm like, cool. She's enjoying herself. And one of our friends are there, and he immediately offers me a drink. He's a Canadian guy, so he offers me a rye and ginger. It's called. It's just Canadian whiskey and ginger ale. Absolutely delicious, very refreshing. Um, so
Wait,
I'm
does it
like,
taste like maple syrup?
no, it does not.
That would be my first thought.
Oh God. Anyway,
Apparently, that is a thing there. There
no,
really is maple syrup alcohol. I'm not even kidding about that. So you can label me racist all you want to, but they are perpetuating a stereotype. Please continue.
so that was good, and I drank that, and I was cool and everything. And we got there at like 11:30 at night though, so I wasn't trying to get like drunk. It's just like, let me just drink a little bit, relax, sit by the fire, go to bed, start anew tomorrow morning. So I did exactly that. Got up the next day, Thursday morning, um, and I was like, cool. I'm gonna hit the grocery store, pick out what I want to eat for the rest of the week because I'm gonna be grilling some stuff. It's gonna be awesome. Uh,
Bacon.
chicken was in fact one of the things, right? Uh, and you know, uh, at the grocery stores there, this is not normal for New Jersey. They have beer in the grocery stores. So I was like, cool.
Everywhere but Jersey. God.
Yeah, it's sucks because it's really convenient, and I wish Jersey had it. But anyway, so I'm like, cool. I'm gonna get some beer, stuff like that. Obviously, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna cheat a little bit because beer is typically not allowed on my diet, but whatever. Um, I was letting my hair down, which was funny because I got a haircut prior. But anyway, so I get some beer or whatever, and went next door to the liquor store and got a fifth of Hennessy cognac because that's one of my favorites. So I was like, it's going to be a good weekend, right? Went back to the campground. Dinner
Everyone was murdered.
dinner was just finishing up. We were having crabs and spaghetti and potatoes, and corn on the cob, and all kind of great stuff. So we ate that. I let food digest a little bit. Right around 6 o'clock, I was like, time to start drinking. So I cracked open one of the beers and didn't stop until about, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Needless to say, driving around on a golf cart, intoxicated, is an absolute blast. So
I bet. It's definitely on my bucket list.
yeah, it was all kinds of fun, and I was enjoying myself, and I was like, my God, I can't believe it's only Thursday. We still have so much more time to do this with, and I have so much more alcohol. This is going to be an awesome weekend. The next morning, I wake up and I go, what am I going to do? I know, I'll cook that dozen of eggs that I just had to have last night. Because apparently the night before I was so drunk that I was just like, let's go to the store and get some eggs. Luckily, they were just getting ready to close, so I was able to go in there and buy eggs. I had no idea what I wanted them for. Apparently, I thought they were going to come cooked and scrambled, but so I brought them back to the campground. I was like, I'll make them some other time. Put them in the refrigerator. Woke up the next morning, decided to make them. Realized I bought eggs, no bacon, no sausage, nothing, just eggs. So I was like, whatever, I'm going to make this whole dozen of eggs. So I scrambled up the entire dozen of eggs and just put them all in a skillet, made them all, and said, who wants eggs? So as I'm eating the eggs, I'm told there is a severe tropical storm making its way towards us.
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, that thing.
and I'm being told that we probably have to move our campsite. As a matter of fact, the runners of the campground said it's highly suggested that you at least move your campsite if you're not going to leave. We weren't evacuated, but they said, move your campsite. And I'm like, whatever. That's going to be a burden on today, but we'll have the rest of the weekend. No big deal, because it'll take probably most of the day to pack everything up and bring everything back out again at another campsite. And then I was given the dreadful news that we were actually going home because there was no sense in packing up knowing that we would have to unpack and then pack up again a few days later.
Oh, you poor fool.
Yeah, so I got to enjoy a whole day of that wonderful vacation I was looking forward to so much. And that was it.
Yeah, that is not the only sad story that I've heard come out of this weekend about people taking vacations or going places where everybody was like, no, take shelter, it's the storm of the century, only to have like maybe like a small bluster and then Sunday being absolutely gorgeous.
See, here's the difference though. Where we were actually did get hit bad. So it's a good thing we left. And I'm not upset with anyone that I went with. It just sucks because of Mother Nature. I'm actually happy we left because of seeing the aftermath, but it sucks, when you're looking forward to a vacation that much and it gets ruined by something stupid like Mother Nature. But
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to look at the time frame because it was about the second or the third, which is about right for Mother Nature to be having her time. So it was bound to happen.
yeah, I guess so. But yeah, it did because we seen videos online the next day on Facebook and stuff like that, and there were people pedaling around on a bicycle that were just like the water was up to like halfway to the spokes on the bike, and it was just like, okay, we're kind of glad we left because that was the high road. You look at the campsites and they were all flooded. It was terrible. So we're like, okay, that's cool. But you know what the worst part about it is me being upset about it and everything. I'm just like, screw my diet. I ate this humongous cheeseburger from Hardee's that I've never had before. I've never had Hardee's before. So I go there and I was told that they have a low carb burger at Hardee's. So I'm like, all right, we can stop at Hardee's. I know it's fast food, but at least they have a low carb option. And I see it way tucked away in tiny print on the bottom of the menu. And humongous on the menu with this glorious picture is this thing called a Monster Burger.
Oh, that thing is so good.
My God. It just stared into my soul and said, buy me because you know you want me. And it was not wrong. So I bought it and it proved itself to be right because it was absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, no, the Monster Burger is the best dressed hooker at the road show.
My
Oh
God.
my God, like I've my first experience with Hardee's was when I went to North Carolina earlier at the beginning of the year for the first time, and it was on the bucket list. Like had to hit a chain that I've never eaten at before. So going
Right.
to Hardee's and seeing that Monster Burger on there, I was just like, oh, give me some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what happened with me. Um, I just seen it and was just like, yeah, I have to have that. So it was delicious and I regretted nothing. Um, the next day I regretted nothing as I'm slamming down one of the 40 ounces I bought for the weekend at the campground. But we weren't camping, so I was like, well, time to drink my sorrows away.
You
Regretted
had a lot
nothing.
of cheat days over the weekend.
Yeah, I did, and the result of that is checking my weight today, and I gained 3 pounds over the past week. So that's my update on my weight this week. It
Go
sucked,
straight
but
to your thighs.
yeah, it sucked, but I'll get it back. This is why I'm not eating pizza at Chuck E. Cheese though, because I've had my cheat days and I gained weight off of it, and I'm kind of I'm not upset about it because I know why it happened. It's just I'm trying to be a little more strict now. But
Oh wait, what if I eat your crust for you?
Andy, the rest of the pizza is still crust. It's not just the end.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, so you want me to just eat the cheese and sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that. I would like to go to the bathroom sometime this millennium. um, yeah. So, but anyway, so that's my vacation story. What did you do over the past week? Anything exciting?
Honestly, the halfway through the point where you were telling me what you were doing, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, what did I do this weekend? Because I was hard pressed to think of it, like genuinely hard pressed to think of what I did this weekend. Um, no, I remember going over Jeremy's house, mutual friend, and had some times there. We played video games, got caught up on some Smash Brothers, which I haven't played in like at this point over a month. Um, and I'm still kind of like 50-50 on it. Um, Definitely nowhere near a pro gamer. I will not be playing a Korean guy anytime soon and claiming victory. Let me see. I saw I saw my girlfriend over the weekend. She was lovely as always.
And
And
people, believe it or not, that does exist with Andy. He does actually have a girlfriend. I know it might be hard to believe because his personality is just so wonderful that he has to like beat women away with it. Um, but he does in fact actually have a girlfriend, and she's a wonderful person. She's actually a listener of the show, which is more than what we could say about my significant other. Do continue.
yeah, the total package. And she listens to my bullshit, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I think my wife just hears enough of it through a day-to-day basis, and it's just like I'm not listening to that. Like she tells me all the time, like, "Oh, let's listen to your podcast," and then I'll put it on, and next thing you know, she's off doing the dishes or something. She's just
Yeah.
like, "I would rather clean than listen to this."
Congratulations, you are less important than scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I mean, most of my weekend was just spent visiting locally. I mean, I don't really, I never make any grandiose plans on the weekends because I'm so used to having work. Like I've been in mandatory work at my job for so many years
Yeah.
that now that I actually have free time to myself, I'm like, all right, now what?
You know, it keeps dawning on me. We actually have 2 weeks to catch up on, and the weekend prior to this past weekend was an interesting one for the Side Splitters team here because me and Andy actually had a little play date of our own.
Oh
Not a
yeah, that's right, we did.
not a play date of ourselves. That's weird.
Hey, for
Yeah.
you, I haven't played it of myself for a long ass time.
Yeah, we had a little get together. That was pretty cool. Andy's brother Rob came over, which will be a guest star on this podcast someday in the near future because if you guys like Andy as much as you like Andy, you're gonna like him because he's like a different version of Andy. He has a deeper voice for starters. I personally think he's a little cuter, but that's just me, you know.
That's because you like cushion for the pushing.
Andy makes fun of his brother for being a large man as well, so he'll have twice the ammo for both of us. So that should be fun. Anyway, so they came over and we got to play some old school games.
Let me say my neighbors.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors was one of them. Joe and Mac, just some obscure games that I love the fact that they knew what they were. Like everyone right now is probably just like, what the hell's a Joe and Mac? It's an old Super Nintendo game. So is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. The games are absolutely a blast. We got ice cream. We made dinner. It was a typical date. It was awesome.
Yeah, which I'm still in awe of your cooking technique of just shaking it until it's done. Like it is probably one of the most bizarre stovetop rituals I have ever seen in my life. But I mean, it worked.
I was making a mixture of meat and vegetables over a frying pan. Well, the frying pan was under it, but anyway. Um,
That's a skillet, sir.
look, I didn't want to bring too much, advanced placement and cooking techniques into this conversation. Just no.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. It was meat and vegetables in a pan that you fry stuff in. I'm not gonna give away my secret recipe here because it was absolutely delicious.
That
But
was really good.
the seasonings on it, I didn't want to use like a spatula because they were sirloin beef cubes, and I didn't want to use a spatula on it because the seasonings were on it good, and I didn't want to scrape the seasonings off of it with the spatula. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put a lid on it and shake it all around and make sure all the seasonings coagulate nicely to the meat. And Andy looks at me and just starts laughing, and I'm like, "What's the problem?" He goes, "Are you just shaking the pan and saying cook faster, damn you?" So I haven't thought of it that way, but I tend to do that a lot, and it's funny now. I laugh every time I do it. So, um,
It's like some crazy voodoo ritual. Like, I mean, the next thing you know, you're gonna start to pour a circle of salt around the stove, so water will boil faster.
well, all right, let's just move on. So, uh, speaking of old school video games, though, it got me thinking with Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Joe and Mac, kind of obscure games that were at the pinnacle of their success for the Super Nintendo because that's the only time they were made. So, what games like that would you like to see remade these days, or even like rebooted, or given the HD treatment or something like that? It doesn't
Ooh,
even have to be games, neither. Movies, TV shows, whatever.
well, I mean, going by the original question of the games, so there's a couple old school games that I would love to see like a modern take on. And I know you're probably gonna laugh at me for one of them, but I really want to see a modern take on Joust. There it is.
Okay.
No, I mean guys riding ostriches, jousting each other on the stages, like that could be a game. Like imagine like an HD graphics update for that thing, and it's just varying platform levels where you have like a jump button, a dash button, and you have to just like knock people off of platforms and stuff. That would be freaking amazing.
I can see him like throwing power ups into it and stuff like that, and like different characters with different abilities and everything.
Yeah, it'd be like a Gears of War over the shoulder third person perspective, like you just like trotting on these platforms trying to knock people off, so people can like dive bomb you from the platform above or below or something like that, and I think it would be really neat.
That sounds like an awesome idea. I'm not even gonna lie. What else you got for me?
Let me see if I were to go for HD remakes or updates. I want a first person perspective of Pac-Man.
Yeah, you're really going for the remakes of the old ones, huh? I said obscure, and neither of these are obscure.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many people still remember Joust.
Oh, fair, but Pac-Man's definitely not obscure.
No, it's not obscure. I just think it would be neat to have a first-person view of Pac-Man because
I
your
still
only
want it.
advantage is that you have an aerial view of this labyrinth. Like, if you had to turn a corner and not know if a ghost was there, it would scare you shitless.
Once again, very, very good point. All right. But no, like I meant obscure because like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, like that would be awesome to be redone. You know?
It would be pretty awesome to be redone. Kid Chameleon. Remember that one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kid Chameleon was a Sega Genesis gem that
Yeah.
I really enjoyed for not only the pop culture references that it made at the time, but it was also a pretty inventive platformer to boot.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think that the platformer is due for a comeback. It's been like gone for ages just because people are so shiny and new with like, oh, Dark Souls and you
Um,
know,
I certainly wouldn't say that it's gone. I mean, you have games like VVVVVVVVVVV, Super Meat Boy. You have like the indie games and everything that are still platformers. I know it wasn't taking extremely well, but Mighty Number Nine just recently came out, and a lot of people looked into that because of who made it.
oh, Mighty Number Nine.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just move right past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are rebooting a lot of movie franchises as well. Like, I mean, it may not be 80s, but I know they're going to start production within the next month on the Crow remake.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think they would ever, work that one into the world because of, Brandon Lee and all that.
I mean, the guy died a while ago. We can all move on.
I know that, but I still thought that, like, I don't know, that was like his one shining achievement, That was the one thing everyone remembered him for. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess to be fair, it'd be kind of similar to never seeing another guy play the Joker because of Heath Ledger. So I guess, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and that was a much shorter time span between those two things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They're also, I think they're. See, the other thing that gets me too is that they're redoing the original Predator movie.
Really?
Yeah, they really are going for it. And the thing that I hate about that is that a lot of what made that movie really, really good is already gone. Like, no one's ever getting that back again. Because when the original Predator came out, you had no idea what was going on. It wasn't a franchise at the time, so everything about this thing was like different and unique. Like the way it looked, the way it sounded, the way it bled. Like, you didn't even get a good look at it until about halfway through the movie, and up to that point, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then it happened, and you're like, that is the most awesome-looking alien thing I've ever seen. But now the Predator franchise is known, it's established, so all the surprise is gone. Like, you already know what you're in for.
Yeah. That's a good point. Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, like, it was the same thing, like, I mean, even back in the day between Alien and Aliens, which, honestly, they could have just called it Alien 2, because plural does not a sequel make.
No.
But, even during that, like, the Alien was new and different, and then when they made the sequel, they found ways to make it still new and different. because they added like a whole like hierarchy, like a hive mind
Yep.
society thing and everything like that. Like that was all new and brilliant. The only thing they did with the Predator in the sequel is they drop him in a city instead of like a jungle,
Right.
and they gave him a black guy to fight. So, I mean, you take your good with your bad. Some franchises know how to reinvent, some don't.
My God. All right. Yep. Let's move away from franchise stuff. Actually, you say things like, the rise and fall of stuff, right?
Hmm.
And I always wanted to talk on this topic, but we haven't yet, and I feel like this would be a good time to. Um, Pokemon Go. Yes, I was and still am a huge fan of the game. There are some kinks that need to be worked out of it, and I'm very much looking forward to certain things that are coming up. But Andy, on the other hand, refuses to play it. Here's the reason I wanted to bring it up, though.
Okay.
Have you ever seen, or what are some other things that you've seen coming to popularity so quickly and die out as fast as Pokemon Go did? Because, my God, what happened?
Yeah, because it probably suffered from the same thing that like. All right, well, maybe my apathy is like light years ahead of most people's apathy, um, and I'm willing to accept that as truth, because the way I saw it was that you know it's a Pokemon game, but a lot of the core stuff that makes a Pokemon game was not present in Pokemon Go. Like it had a Pokemon skin. That's what it was. It was a collection game that had a Pokemon skin, and that was it.
Uh-huh.
Like it was not. It's not a Pokemon game.
Uh-huh.
Like in my heart of hearts, it is not a Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
I am not trying to go around to prove anything. I am, collecting 60 fucking Rattatas just to evolve one.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Just why? I mean, the only thing to really come out of it that I enjoyed was the AR photos of like Charmander sitting on this chick's butt while she's laying on a bed watching TV. Like, that's entertaining. Seeing a Diglett in some dude's lap on the toilet, that's pretty entertaining. Watching a Metapod fall out of your teacher's nose in school, that's pretty funny. But at that point, you could have just gone with a weird Pokemon Snap thing and not Pokemon Go.
Which was also not a game.
It wasn't a Pokemon game in the franchise, no, but it was a skin on a photography game.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had those before. Hell, Japan has that one game where like you take pictures essentially of women in scantily clad clothing, and the more pictures you take of them, the hornier they get. I swear to God, I wish I was making this up.
I think it's called Make-A-Wish Foundation.
No. No, that's a thing that kids with cancer give John Cena a hand job. That's what that is. And I'm not even lying. That's why you're laughing. But
there goes all of our fans.
Probably.
Let's wait till next week and see how many fans are still there to say Whimsy yes.
Maybe I'm oversimplifying things. I apologize. Yeah, but like it wasn't a Pokemon game, and because of that, like I couldn't really get into it.
Right.
Like the concept doesn't get me, and plus, I mean, I am not like the rest of a lot of other people where I am not attached to my phone 24/7. I know how to put the damn thing down. Look, it's over there. Like it is away from me. And I do that when I go places.
Pointing at his phone, which is on the table about 4 feet away from him. So yes, he is in fact right. But he's pointing to it. It is just out of hand's reach with him. I see. Just wanted to illustrate that for the listening audience, Andy. The listening audience. Go on.
Sorry. Sometimes I forget that video killed the radio star.
Yes.
So yeah, now I'm not always on my phone. I don't always want to be on my phone. So a game that requires me to be on my phone, the exercise thing doesn't bother me as much. It's just the idea that, now I'm glued to the screen. Like, it's great that you're going places and you're quote unquote seeing new sights, but at the same time, you're also running into oncoming traffic.
Not everyone.
No, just a few stupid individuals who don't realize when they should put down the screen. That's
Yeah,
what that's what this was. Pokemon Go was a social experiment to weed out people that needed to be weeded out. Like people that walked off a cliff, got hit by a bus, um, got accidentally shot from trespassing on a farmer's yard, drowned because they didn't know where water started. Like,
all right. Well, this is getting way too far into where I wanted to go with it. I was just asking if you remember the original question.
sorry, I got carried away.
Um, do you remember seeing any other trends similar to that? And before everyone gets a little butthurt about the fact that I'm saying Pokemon Go has came and went already, look, I still like the game. I still personally plan on it and plan on playing, or still play it and plan on playing it more. The thing is, you don't see the same amount of people playing it as you did when it first came out. And I know a lot of you are probably going to go, oh, those are just people that, download anything that's number one on the App Store. And you're probably right. Those are the people that left. But that's what made it a trend, is because all these people that wouldn't typically play it are playing it. Like, I get the fact that, gamers and Pokemon fans are still playing the game, but those don't make it a trend. Those people make it normal. That's normal. We expected to see that. We didn't expect to see, someone's grandmom crossing the street trying to catch a Pikachu. I never personally expected that. I'm sure no one else did neither. But, Niantic certainly didn't, which is the company that made the game. And this is why they had so many server issues in the beginning, because everyone wanted to friggin' play. So, anyway, that's what I'm getting at. Those people are the ones you don't see. And you know what? If your grandmom still plays, awesome for her. I'm not talking about that grandmom, okay? Just saying in general, there's not as many people playing as there once was. Now,
the social aspects of the game have definitely done more for people than the actual game itself.
Yes. So that out of the way, has there been any other trends that you've seen come and go like that?
Pogs.
Yes.
Pogs was only a thing for, I want to say, slightly less than a year. Like, it was really, really big and then died the same year they came out.
Yeah, they died as soon as I got my hand on some.
Yeah.
Which sucked. I was like, damn it, I was finally cool. You know what else that almost happened with? I don't know if you remember this or not, but there was a very brief moment in my childhood, like, I want to say I was like 5th grade, where wearing goggles on your head was just the style.
I don't recall that at all.
Yeah, like, maybe it was just in my school, I don't know, but like for like a solid month or two, people would just come in with like goggles on their head, similar to what you would see in like anime shows.
Okay.
I think the dude from Digimon has one on his head, a pair of goggles on his head.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Tai.
Oh, wow, I didn't know his name and all that, but anyway, yeah, so
You're welcome.
you get what I'm saying though, like, that style where you're just using goggles. Obviously, the goggles are not for viewing, they're just for fashion, and that was a fashion thing in my school for like a month or two. And I wanted nothing more but to have a pair of goggles so I could fit in with the rest of the cool kids, but by the time I got them, it was already gone.
there were too many passing trends in schools, like the doing the multicolored like plastic strands into braids. Like that was a thing. They like came and went pretty quickly. God, what else? I don't know why. I have no idea why they started doing it, but there was that stylized $sign that everybody drew on everything.
Oh, the S?
Yeah.
From the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Because it looked cool, and once you seen how easy it was to make, you're like, oh my god, I can do this too. And
God.
That's why.
That was annoying as shit. Just everywhere I looked, people even started spelling their name with that S in the middle of it, and I'm like, why?
Because their name had an S in the middle of it. People like Lyle were jealous of those people.
Yeah, well, I had a Z in my name, but it didn't mean I scratched it into the paper with a sword.
Well, you see where you did wrong. Anyway, that's what you get for not being Zorro. I got to.
That's what I get.
Yeah, that's totally what you get. Anyway, what else has there been? So like the butterflies in people's hair, the butterfly barrettes. You remember them?
Oh, I
Obviously
do.
females. Yeah, obviously it was more of a women
Because
thing.
okay, I don't understand that fashion trend. So you want to give the illusion you have bugs stuck in your hair?
You know, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, I never got that. The same thing with like ladybugs or um shit. What was the other one?
I can tell
Well, I
you
mean
one that
some of
I
the goth girls had like the spider.
I can tell you one straight up that pisses me off right now.
Hmm.
Cat ears. The fuck are you doing with your fucking life? You are a
Oh,
goddamn adult. Take the cat ears off.
okay. For guys, it's definitely more discouraging, but
I don't care if it's a male or a female. You are an adult. Take the cat ears off.
eh.
Don't
I'm
stand me.
no, I don't know what it is. I'm less inclined to have a problem with that one than most of the other things you mentioned.
And then I seen they have headphones that you put the headphones on and they're legit cat ears
Yes,
with music coming out of them. Like, no, come on. Are you serious?
I have seen those. Apparently, they're not cheap either.
Why would they be? They're popular.
Touche. Well, I mean, with that, you can get like the knockoff brands. You could be like get the like the rundown Mexican El Gato headphones.
Oh my god. Or you could be the retarded kid in class that just comes to school with like dog ear headphones. Like, what are you doing?
Or just have regular headphones, but like make the cat ears on there, like like cardboard cat ears. Be like, yeah, popular guys. Like, oh well, we know who has the poor family in school.
Yeah,
Um,
that was me. That was
yeah,
me.
I bet your mom spent every night out behind a gas station too.
What the hell did you just say about my mother?
That she's a lovely woman.
Oh, there's no need to mimic her. Um, Speaking of my mom, um, there's a wonderful time of the year coming up this week. As a matter of fact, the night this episode drops is going to be the first installment of this wonderful, wonderful time of the year. And that is football season is finally back. I cannot wait for the first game. How about you? How stoked are you, Andy?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm wondering how the hell the mother segue works into this, because that was pretty weak.
Well, I guess for those that don't know, my mom could easily be a football player because she would tackle people. I'm certainly afraid of her.
Broad shoulders.
Um, Not so much broad shoulders, just
Well, no, she does have broad shoulders.
oh god, that's weak. That is weak. Also, the very loud voice that comes behind a typical fan of football, that as someone cheers on their team. My mom's a huge fan of football as well. I guess it was kind of more for me segue than it was for the listening audience, and I didn't dawn on me. But yeah. So
Fair enough.
don't try to skate across the topic here, though. It's not hockey season yet. That's in another month. So how pumped are you for football season?
Oh man, well, I'm waiting for people's fantasy teams to finally be reality teams. Because I mean, playing football in the off football season, I guess, is just like playing Madden when it's not going on. I guess you just play to play. Like, do you need football that much in your life?
Yes.
Because I mean, it is grown men beating the shit out of each other with ever increasing medical problems and driving statistics that they don't really have any kind of control over.
This is coming from the same grown man that watches the WWE.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Anyway, so
I like my soap operas to have a few pile drivers in them. Leave me alone.
well, the first game is Thursday night, and it's between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. Do you know why that's important?
Oh, because actually the Carolina Panther is endangered, so it's really important for the team to get a victory because that means that um, the what was the other team?
Denver Broncos.
Broncos, right? Okay, that's a type of horse.
Yes.
Horses aren't normally the natural enemies of the panther, but they are good food for it.
Uh,
Yeah, so I would assume that the Panthers need to get this win because they need to fund their panther reserve, where they are grown in captivity to increase their numbers for the wild.
what's
Whereas
also
the Broncos are untamed and they just want to destroy things.
okay. Now that you're finished, what's awesome about that is you're kind of right.
Yes.
This is a rematch of the previous Super Bowl that has just occurred back in February.
Oh right,
And
I forgot that was a thing besides the commercial reel.
yes, and it was the Broncos and the Panthers, and everyone expected the Panthers to win because the Panthers were doing really well that year. Everyone except me, because I personally do not like the Panthers. I think Cam Newton is a complete crybaby, as I'm sure you'll agree with me. He's a sore loser, and he's a complete bitch. Also, they boasted and bragged about how great they were, and then once they lost, could not handle it. Um, and they were playing shitty teams the entire season, which is why they were doing so well. Now, that being said, they lose the Super Bowl, and the first game of the year is against the rival team of the Super Bowl. So they are, in fact, endangered, and they do, in fact, have to win. So that's what's fascinating about that. You mentioned fantasy football, though. I have a fantasy football team. I don't yet, but I will have one. Come probably tomorrow at some point. I should have probably did it today. Oh God. Oh yeah, I'll have one. I'll have one before the season starts because I do not go a year without having a fantasy football team. It's just so damn exciting. Um,
They won't let me play.
well, that's because you actually have to know what football is.
I beg to differ because they told me that fantasy football was just of a collection of athletes that you think would be the best for to be on the same team, and then you get points based on their actual performance. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
So
Time.
now that I got that concept out of the way, why the fuck won't anybody let me use Spider-Man?
Oh, that's why they wouldn't let you play.
Just on a statistics basis alone, he has beaten Thanos. Like, I don't care what meager accomplishments whoever is the MVP of whatever season we're in has done. He hasn't destroyed the Mad Titan in about for the soul of the universe. Like, give me fucking Spider-Man and I win.
Right, you are yet again, Andy. So all right, let's kind of jump right into this here. Here's what I'm trying to get to, folks. Basically, with the NFL season here, I am a huge fan of football. I live and breathe it all the time when it's on. So I'm excited
Hard to
about
make
it.
room for the muffins.
Right. I'm excited about it. Dick. And because I like to torture Andy so much, I want to talk about it every week on a podcast. So every week on the podcast, we are going to have a new segment. I'm thinking about just calling it Sports Desk with Andy, where he is going to give his analysis on who's going to win the upcoming games and these, just a couple highlights from the previous week of teams that have won and why they won or why they lost. Um, I know that doesn't sound exciting to the average listener because it's like, well, what does he know about football? But you're about to find out why this is exciting. So, without further ado, I bring you Andy's Sports Desk. Now, Andy, I have a
Yes.
few questions for you. The upcoming games, I want your opinion on who's going to win each one of them. We're just going to kind of breeze through them. I'm going to tell you the two teams playing. You're going to tell me the victor and why, and then we'll move on to the next one. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. First up, we have the Viking. Well, we already have the Panthers and Broncos. You said Panthers, correct?
Yes, definitely
Okay.
Panthers.
Panthers. Panthers to win. Okay. Next up, we have the Vikings and the Titans. The Minnesota Vikings and the Tennessee Titans. Now, before you give an answer on this, I want you to be aware that our friends over at Countdown to Geek Town, who do like football and promised me I'd be allowed on their podcast one day when football season started. By the way, I didn't forget, guys. get in touch with me. I'd love to be on. They are Tennessee Titans fans. I don't give a fuck. I'll sell myself to the devil if I needed to. They are Tennessee Titans fans. So be careful what you say. But Minnesota Vikings versus Tennessee Titans. Who do you have and why?
Well, I definitely, luckily, catering to our friends at Countdown to Geektown, I do have to go with the Titans, but probably not for the reason that they think.
Okay. And what reason would that be?
Well, Titans, for the longest time, have been, the disciplinarians of this world that we live on. I mean, for God's sakes, even Olympus cowered under them. So it's safe to assume that a bunch of, ransacking, pillaging Vikings really don't stand a chance against like the shapers of the world that we stand on. So based on those facts alone, with reality altering abilities and being 50 feet tall, I'm gonna give this one to the Titans.
Fair enough. So Titans over the Vikings. Okay.
Yes.
Next up we have, I can't wait for this, the Bears or the Texans. The Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans.
Ooh, no, definitely gonna give this one to the Bears.
And why is that?
All right. Well, Texans are used to dealing with like male cows and horses and stuff like that. Like that is their thing. I mean, yeah, everything's bigger in Texas, but Texans don't ever have to deal with bears. I can't think of a single indigenous bear to Texas. Like as soon as they see that thing in the distance up close is not actually just a sick dog with poor grooming, it's actually a giant fucking mammal that will slash your chest in half. They'll be heading for the hills or whatever they have in Texas. To be honest with you, I think it's tumbleweeds, but they'll try to hide behind something, I'm sure. But definitely Bears. Bears aren't impressed with Texans, and neither am I.
Could not have said it better myself. By the way, for those keeping tabs on everything here, this is what we're expecting to see every week. And what's awesome about this is I planned on writing down all the winners that he's claiming, and we're going to see how close he gets every week. I just think it's going to be such a fun segment. I think it's going to be awesome.
And keep track for me, because if my team doesn't win, I do want to know about it, and I want to keep track of their win-loss record, because honestly, if Titans lose to Vikings, then I am going to be hard-pressed to think of why Dolphins should take them down.
Right, you are. Okay, so next up, this should be fun. We have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cleveland Browns.
Browns.
Why Browns?
Because Eagles never win. I don't have to know football to know that. The Eagles never win. The Browns win. Gonna give this one to the Browns. That is all the analysis I'm prepared to give on that matchup.
Okay, as a Giants fan, I, appreciate all of that. Let's move on. Okay, so Browns it is, huh?
Mm-hmm.
One of these days I'm going to have you give the scores for it too. That should be fun. Nah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, next up we have the Bills and the Ravens.
What the fuck is a bill?
See, that's what I was expecting with the Browns.
No, I get Browns. I've heard Browns all my life. What the fuck is a bill? Do they mean, okay, so if you're talking about Ravens versus cash, because that's what I'm assuming that a bill is.
It's Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens.
Buffaloes don't have bills. They have mouths, like every other God-fearing mammal.
Buffalo City.
There's a city of buffaloes?
New York. Buffalo, New York, man.
Oh, okay, that Buffalo. I am so sorry. Yeah, sir, I still don't know what the fuck a bill is, but
yeah, I'm not even going to explain it to you at this point. Go ahead.
All right, so given that the bills are either constituted up of money or duck appendages, if it's the former, then I've read Edgar Allan Poe. Ravens definitely make bills. So I'm going to say that it can have the advantage over that. And over the latter, Ravens have bills too. I mean, granted, it's beak, so it's a manlier bill. It's just better equipped. Like, plus Ravens are very sneaky.
All right, time's running up here, Andy. Who do we got, Bills or Ravens?
Ravens.
Ravens.
They are the stealthy assassins of the sky. Yes.
Stealthy. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Chargers and Chiefs.
Chargers and Chiefs.
San Diego Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. Chiefs do not operate on battery power, so I'm assuming that the Chargers will be superfluous. And Chiefs are natural born leaders, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Chiefs. All right. Now we're moving along pretty quickly here. Next up. Oh, this should be fun. The Raiders and the Saints.
Well, Raiders are the same thing as Vikings, and they can't stand against Titans. I don't think they're going to do much against Saints either. But then again, Saints are also very pacifistic.
I'm going to put it this way. The Raiders are from Oakland. The Saints are from New Orleans.
That's an oxymoron. There are no such thing as Saints in New Orleans. Although, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to have to I'm gonna have to vote against the Saints on this one. I don't think they stand a chance.
So you're taking the Raiders.
I'm definitely taking the Raiders on that one.
All right. The original name of the Twix bar. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Originally, the Twix bar was called the Raider bar.
Huh.
A little fun fact for food history for you there. Next up, we have the Buccaneers.
Well, if anyone else would know it.
Yeah. The Buccaneers or the Falcons.
Ooh, Falcons do have an aerial advantage.
Let me throw this out there. This is a divisional game.
So they're going to separate the two? Well, then what the hell's the point of that? It would just be Buccaneers playing with each other.
No. Both teams in this game are in the same division.
Aren't they all in the same division?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I clearly don't know how divisions work.
Okay.
So, that fact aside, I'm going to say that Buccaneers do train their own parrots, so they could easily take away the Falcons' air superiority. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Bucks. Okay, next up we have the we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the New York Jets.
Ooh, Bengals versus Jets. Now, as exciting as it would be to see a Jet shake off a bunch of Tigers, I think that in a full-on fist fight, the Jets have the advantage. They have the air, they have speed, they have armor. Like, there's really no chance here for the Bengals. I'm going to say the Jets.
All right. Next up, we have the Packers and the Jaguars.
Packers and the Jaguars. All right. So as much as I look, I love everybody equally. I don't care if they like similar genders or not. But I think in a straight-on fight with a giant feline, Packers would not want to do that. So I'm gonna say the Jaguars are gonna intimidate the shit out of the Packers.
Oh. Next up we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, now see, I know the Dolphins. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since Dan Marino played, but I know the Dolphins.
Someone knows Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Which is why he's against the Eagles, because, Ace Ventura beat the crap out of the Eagles mascot in the obvious fictional Super Bowl that the Eagles and the Dolphins played in that movie.
Obviously, because, Eagles always lose.
Right.
So, honestly, between the Dolphins and the Seahawks, while the Dolphins are at home at the sea, the Hawks can actually navigate the sea terrain as well. They do have the air advantage, and Dolphins are a bit rapey, but they have to be able to reach you to do it. So I'm going to say the Seahawks win.
The Seahawks are indeed at home, so just throwing that out there.
So the Dolphins are visiting the Seahawks?
Yes.
Do they have like special like overwater scuba gear or something?
Does that change
Dolphin can't climb a tree.
Does that change your answer?
No, the
All right,
Seahawks
let's
definitely
move
are
on.
going to win.
Oh, this should be a fun one. The New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. Also a divisional game. All
right, so Cowboys, God, There really is a different team. Like, Texans are Cowboys. Why are these two separate teams?
Same reason Giants and Titans are two separate teams.
Eh,
Eagles
no,
and Falcons. Bengals
there
and
is a
Jaguars.
difference between a Titan and a Giant, though.
All right, Bengals and Jaguars, Falcons and Eagles. Sure, there's difference, and Seahawks, but sure, there's difference. But you know,
Well, a Giant is 20 feet tall versus a Titan, which is 50 feet tall, plus has more otherworldly powers.
fair enough.
So, if you're asking me if a Cowboy can beat up a Giant, probably not. Cowboys, no. No, I think probably there's maybe 5 teams on the list that you've named so far the Cowboys might have a standing chance against, but Giants is not one of them.
My thoughts exactly, Andy. So next up, we have the Lions versus the Colts.
Oh, now see, this one's actually a pretty tough one. Are they male lions?
Well, their emblem is somewhat of a baby blue color, so I'm going to say yes.
All right, so if it's a male lion, that makes all the difference in the world. The Colts are actually going to be too fast-paced for the Lions to keep up with, and eventually the male lion just gives up and says, let the woman get it. So I'm going to say the Colts on that one.
Colts. Okay. And then, finally, we come to our Sunday night game, the Patriots versus the Cardinals.
Patriots versus the Cardinals.
Yes.
Okay, so, wait, cardinal as in bird or cardinal as in religious figure?
Good question. Cardinal as in bird.
Cardinal as in bird.
Arizona Cardinals versus the New England Patriots, if that
I
changes.
don't think Arizona has cardinals.
Well, they do today.
I think Arizona says the same thing. So, when was the last time they won anything?
Which team?
Cardinals.
Define won anything.
Made it to the playoffs.
Last year.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, never mind then. All right. So I'm skirting around the question. I say the Patriots are going to win that one because, there's nothing that Patriots hate more than redcoats. And I think just seeing all that cardinal red flapping around in the wind is just going to make them so infuriated that they were going to give it their all. So I'm going to go with Patriots.
Well played. I like that one. All right. Then we go into the 2 Monday night games. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Redskins.
Oh, what hasn't been stolen from the Redskins? I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Okay. And finally, last but not least, the Los Angeles Rams, new team, kind of, sort of. Same team, just different city. They used to be the St. Louis Rams, now they're the Los Angeles Rams. Versus
Never knew that.
San Francisco 49ers.
The fuck is a 49er?
Gold miner.
Oh! Ooh! Shit. Both of them have familiarity with mountain terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are stubborn to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
And, this one's a tough one. See, cause I think Rams are more versatile than 49ers. I think, honestly, between the two, it would be pretty close, but I think the Rams are going to inch it out on top.
Okay, so Rams.
Rams.
All right. That should be quite a spectacle to see there.
I would pay to see some of those confrontations.
I'm going to do this just out of pure fun. I'm going to make my own list real quick. I'm going to go much faster than you did, and I'm going to do a little actual football knowledge to go along with it. So follow if you'd like, but I understand if you don't. Panthers and Broncos. I still think Cam Newton's a bitch. Broncos are taking that one, regardless of their quarterback situation. Titans and Vikings. Whew. Listen, countdown to Gaytown. You guys are my homies, but I think Adrian Peterson is going to run all over the Titans defense on this one. I'm going to have to go with the Vikings. Let's see what we have here. Bears and Texans. Does it even matter? They both suck. I'll go with the Bears just to agree with Andy on something. Browns and Eagles. Got to go with my boy Robert Griffin III. I believe in them. Browns are taking this one. Agreeing with Andy again. Also, the Eagles never win anything. Bills and Ravens. Ravens are kind of garbage, and Bills have LaShawn McCoy. Going with Bills. let's see here. Where was I? Chargers and Chiefs. Chiefs, obviously, because obvious reasons. I mean, I'll have an upset, but it's not going to be that one. Raiders and Saints. I am going with the Raiders because I believe in them this year. I think they're going to do big things here that a lot of people aren't expecting, just for multiple reasons. Buccaneers, Falcons. Well, it's the first half of the year. The Buccaneers are usually trash, and the Falcons are usually good. So I'm going to have to go with Falcons on this one, which is different from Andy's answer, so that's always fun. Jets and Bengals. Yo, the Red Rocket will not disappoint, or Red Rifle, whatever the hell his name is. Andy Dalton, he's going to win this one. Bengals all the way on that. Then we have Jaguars Packers. That's a no-brainer. One that Andy didn't know. Going with the Packers on that one. Dolphins Seahawks. Now, this is a close one because I want to take the Dolphins, but logic will tell me Seahawks are going to win this one. So I'm going with Seahawks as well. Giants Cowboys. I think everyone should know my answer by this one. It's definitely going to be the Giants. That's my team. They're going to win every game this year. Especially the Giants are a New York-based team, Andy, and they're playing on September 11th versus the America's team, Dallas Cowboys. Like I don't know how much more setup that could possibly be, but there's going to be a whole lot of American on that game.
Well, it seems like 9/11 will be remembered for two tragedies then.
Ouch. Lions and Colts, I'm going to go with the Colts just like Andy did because I don't think the Colts are going to do that bad this year as they did last year because, my God, last year, what a disappointment. Patriots Cardinals. If you want to call it this will be my upset pick because I'm taking the Cardinals over the Patriots. Several reasons. 1, I can't stand the Patriots. 2, I need an upset pick. 3, Cardinals aren't bad. And 4, Tom Brady is suspended. So I'm taking the Cardinals on this one. And, you knew that, right, Andy? Steelers, Redskins. This is probably more of my upset pick. I'm taking the Redskins on this one because I can. And then the Rams and 49ers, I'm taking the Rams because fuck the 49ers with the quarterback that doesn't stand for the national anthem. That's why. So that is that. We will see where it goes next week when we record. That should be really fun. What's going to be even cooler about this, Andy, is we can actually compare our win-loss ratio. We can see who has the better record.
Nice. I do like that actually.
So that's why I kind of decided to make my own list. I was like, let's see my own list and see what. So that's going to be cool. So that's something next week to look forward to, folks. We will call it NFL Picks Week 1. Yeah, I'm doing it on the fly. What of it? All right.
That's fair.
I guess it's only also fair that I actually, title it Andy or Lyle. So, fuck me. So, yeah, you had a segment for me, I believe.
Andy? Oh yeah. So I want to play a game with you because I've already tested it out on playing it with several other people, and we had a blast doing it. So I want to include you in on the fun and see if it's enjoyable enough to include on the podcast on a not regular basis, but maybe once in a while drag it out of the closet.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the name of the game is Make the Case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to make the case for something, and it's going to be a particular subject matter you may not 100% agree with, but you're going to have to make the case for it all the same. And I'm not talking like 1 or 2 sentences. I'm talking like college thesis of this shit. I want to believe that you are speaking on behalf of this particular subject matter.
Okay.
Okay. So first off, I'm going to start you off easy. All right?
All right.
I want you to make the case for why it is important to have sex with your house pet at least once a day.
When you first started explaining this, I'm sitting here thinking, oh God, he's going to make me explain why Kesha is an unappreciated artist or something ridiculous like that.
No.
I thought it was going to be something controversial, maybe. Something like, no. Why is it important for me to have sex with my house pet once a day? Is that correct?
At least once a day,
At least once a day. Well, I mean, why else? First of all, bonding, right? I mean, you never get more bonding done than, cuddle time with Fifi. And, maybe Fifi's into bondage. All the more ways to bond. Which is great because, everyone says that with a house pet, it should be like a best friend. And what better friends can you have than those that you have benefits with?
Ooh, touche.
Yeah, so, man's best friend, maybe it really is man's best friend with benefits, and that's also important for keeping something that Bob Barker always preached: keep your pets spayed or neutered. The reason for that is so we don't have a rampant amount of tomcats just running around the alleyways, or mangy dogs running around just biting kids for no reason. Well, you know what? If those dogs are tied down in a relationship with their owner or the cats, they're not doing that. And all the more reasons to get them spayed or neutered. This way, we don't have any abominations that we have to abort. So we spay or neuter them, and we're good to go. We can have all the fun times that we need, and also because it's one more reason to appreciate having a pet. Something else to add to the list of many things that you should get a pet for.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was very beautiful.
Thank you. What else you got for me?
Wow. All right. All right. So next thing
I just want to throw this out there. Edit it. That is going to sound amazing. And this part I'm leaving in.
Wow. Bold
Yeah.
person you are.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, I want you to make the case for why tweezing every hair out of your body is better than cutting it out.
So, are we to assume that every hair in our body needs to be removed?
No, I mean, like, if you ever have to shave or cut your hair for some reason, it's just you tweeze it instead of just cutting it.
Does this include all hair, like head hair?
Yeah, head hair, facial hair, pubes, the whole nine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, I mean, first things first, accuracy. Am I right?
Accuracy.
Well, how else are you going to get every single one? If you try just shaving it or whatever, you might miss a few, whatever. You also have to worry about being allergic to certain skincare products. Tweezing, not so much. Sure, you might get a little bit of a rash from, constantly ripping parts of your skin off, but they go away. They're not bad, you know. Um, that's about all I got for this one.
Fair. All right.
I guess I can go a little bit into maybe you're the type of person that is into extra pain.
Oh yeah, something to get the jollies going.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, that's definitely all I got for this one. What else you got?
All right. Let me see. So, I need you to make the case about why consoles are better than PC.
You need me to make the case as to why consoles are better than PC.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And I'm supposed to do this right away.
Yes.
I need all these look like clickbait. See, I tried just hurry up and Google searching why are consoles better than PCs, and they all look like very, very clickbaity things. Not clicking on any of them. So I am going to have to legitimately try to come up with something on my own here. All right. Because then I was going to say, the fact that I came up with this list by Google searching it on my PC while I was in the middle of a Skype conversation with you while recording a podcast that we're going to upload on this very same PC, not before we edit it on this very same PC. All the meanwhile, I can play all the same games that you can play on console. That was going to be the argument I made, but you see, you want me to explain why consoles are better. That's be difficult.
Hence the point of make the case.
Right. All right. So consoles are better because you
I see this is really hard for you.
Well, here's the problem. I'm like, oh, because you don't have to worry about them crashing. No, that happens on consoles. Oh, because you don't have to worry about upgrading. Nope, that is still something you need to worry about on consoles. Um, hmm. Why are consoles better than PCs? No, no, that wouldn't work neither. I was going to say you don't have to worry about trolls as much, but if you've played any online multiplayer game on a console, my God, the
Oh
amount.
man, the first week that Xbox One was out and they had the voice controls for the Kinect, there were people that legitimately changed their usernames to Xbox off just so that when people said their name out loud in chat, it would legitimately turn off their Xbox.
So are me and you both excited because your device didn't shut off? Because I'm
Well,
not going to say it again, just in case.
no, because I have the same voice on mine that you have on yours, and it only requires that I have to address it by name.
All right. So why are consoles better than PCs? Well, okay. All right. Hold on. So, if you would have asked me this question, uh, 20 years ago, 1996, around the time Super Nintendo was at its pinnacle, and
Okay.
a PC was something that I could care less about. I would have said, well, on PC you have like Quest for Glory, and that's about it. But on console you have like Donkey Kong Country, Super Metroid, Mario Kart. You had Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario World rather. You had Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, all great games. You had Chrono Trigger. You had just countless amount of games with countless amount of hours to be spent for countless amount of activity and entertainment and just joy to be had by all. And I could go on and on and on about why consoles were so great back then. Now, you want me to now say modern consoles are better than modern PCs?
Well, I mean, I didn't say that specifically. I just said why are consoles better than PCs?
Okay, because in 1996, you're 100% right. Consoles are better than PCs. But in 2016, 20 years later, you're an idiot if you think that. And that's indeed the case. There you are.
Oh, you're no fun.
I tried. I tried. I think the only reason consoles are better than PCs is because I would much rather eat a cake with a console than I would my expensive PC.
All right, all right. Um, well then, I need you to make the case on why it's important to send parents of your friends a dick pic now and again.
I mean, alright, so why is it important to send parents of your friend a dick pic now and again?
Yes.
Did you mean to rhyme that whole thing? Or was that
No,
just.
no, not at all.
Alright, because that was good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, well, this goes back to my first point for the first case that I made. Bonding, again, what better way to become more personable with your friend's parents than to show them your entire anatomy? Why stop at dick pic? Why not give them the whole cash and prizes? The meat and potatoes all together. You know what I'm saying?
Fashion
Maybe
prices.
even tweeze out a couple hairs from the behind area and just take a nice picture of that while it's nice and shiny. Perhaps a little baboon red on the cheeks. Uh, you know, give them everything. Show them all the goods. What might really surprise you is when you get one in return, and then you go, now what? But that you just maybe you learn something about your friend's parents, or maybe they learned something about you. Maybe the mom learned something about you, and all of a sudden is much more interested in you, or the dad. um, but again, bonding, letting them sleep at night because they know their kid is hanging with someone who is hanging a lot more than he is, uh, or just hanging with someone that is um, nothing they need to worry about in terms of competition.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with bonding on this one. It's a nice bonding experience.
Okay, all right.
And then,
Um,
not to mention, for a little bit of extra credit here, if they
okay.
don't see any issues within anything down there, no weird colors coming out of the tip, no weird bumps found around it or anything, then they know that this is in fact a person that practices safe sex, which this is a responsible gentleman, so this is a good person for their kid to be hanging around.
Oh yeah, like making your intentions clear.
Yeah, yeah. Like, hey, look, I just want to show you guys, this is an STD free zone. I am responsible. That's all I'm showing you. Okay, carry on with your evening with Tom Brokaw and 60 Minutes and what have you.
Yeah, I am an open book. Here is my bookmark. Notice it is not frayed.
Yeah, yeah. Notice it's not frayed, and there's nothing written on it. Um, yeah, it's quite dry at the moment, but things could change soon. Looking at you, Mrs. Walkers. Uh, go ahead. What else you got for me?
Well, I was thinking, since this is since I'm pretty sure you get the concept at this point. Do you have any off the top of your head?
Do I have any off the top of my head? That will. How much trouble do I want to get you in? That's the real question.
Oh man, I've already gone through a lot of shit with this already. So
Okay. Um, could you, in fact, make the case as to why people should cut Colin Kaepernick a break when he refuses to stand for the national anthem before every football game he plays
ooh, wow, you are gonna get me in trouble.
in?
Okay, well, probably the biggest case that I can make for this is, I don't blame him for not standing up for the national anthem, mainly because when, I'm sitting at home watching a game, like, I normally always do,
Right.
when the national anthem comes on, I'm still seated. I don't stand up at home. I mean, I have patriotism, but not that much. Who needs to stand when they hear a particular sound of music? You know who does? Pavlov's dogs. That's who stand for particular music. Like, we fought for our independence and won. We are a country. Deal with it. Like, we're holding on to too many traditions that, should go by the wayside. Like, you know, the Pledge of Allegiance too. We don't need to say that. We're born in this country. We already have allegiance to nobody but our own lives. We are masters of our own fates. Um, and the big deal that people are making over it, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, when you're saying that somebody didn't stand when they were supposed to, like, oh, so what's the next thing? You're gonna make the case when somebody didn't sit when they were supposed to, or didn't say bless you when somebody sneezed? Oh man, like where does it end? We're just nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking at this point. Leave the poor man alone.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. All right. I'll tell you what. I'll do one more for you because I'm pretty sure if that didn't get you in enough trouble, this one's definitely going to. So I'll do
Okay.
this last one with you, and then yeah, I think that'll be time to wrap things up here. Maybe come up with a title for the episode and call it a day.
Okay.
So this last one, for anyone still listening to the episode, buckle up, and thanks for listening because I'm sure you're not going to listen to the next one. Uh,
Okay.
I've recently heard that they are actually going through with making a sequel to The Passion of the Christ.
Yes.
Um, please make the case why you think the sequel should in fact be a reboot with a female Jesus Christ played by Miley Cyrus.
Oh man. Oh God, where do I even begin? Um, how do I even begin? Okay, so modern cinematic audiences are looking for the instant gratification, and everybody knows that sex sells. So first thing you do is you take a story, it's a bit tired at this point. It's over 2,000 years old. We always have the same description of the lead character, but what if we just change things up a little bit? Just add that sizzle that audiences are looking for. If you're gonna have a change of pace, why change race or anything like that? That's too small. No, we'll change genders. Not only will we change genders, but we'll make it a controversial, person to lead it because that'll get people talking. Buzz around the water cooler. Hey, do you know who the new Jesus is? It's Miley Cyrus. Like, no way. And then instantly would sell out like tickets like crazy. Like, it's a no-brainer for them to be able to cast it like this. And plus, she might even be able to tell a better story. I would believe.
God.
Oh God, this kind of hurts a little bit. She might be able to tell a better story. I mean, who knows? If they're gonna have Miley Cyrus as Jesus, maybe they could have Selena Gomez as Mary.
I love the fact that you know the celebrity names quicker than you know the biblical name.
I am a product of this generation. I really am. Um, I mean, and that opens up more fun casting possibilities. I mean, Tracy Morgan could be Joseph. You could even have Seth MacFarlane voice a camel. Like, the sky is the limit. And it could be it could be a story that could resonate with millennials. And you know what? It might even get a few extra seats in the church.
So, so you're gonna have the black man play the role of stepfather.
Yes.
Oh God. You know, I think that beats the first argument I made with the why you should. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything else. All I'm gonna say is that's what you get for trying to tell me that consoles are better than PC. So that will do it for this week's. Yeah. So that surely we had to have come up with a title now, based off based off of that lovely little tidbit there.
Oh. So let me think. What have we
Quite
even
frankly,
covered?
my favorite so far, my vote would be Eagles never win.
Oh man. I do like that. Because I was thinking, I kind of like the Titans, but like, if you're being football teamish, like there's Clash of the Titans, but I kind of like Crash of the Titans.
How about Hannah Montana loves the little children?
No.
Why not?
Oh no, definitely not. Oh God.
Why not? Is it too mouthy? Is that it? Too much
Yeah,
mouthful?
it's wordy. It's
Wordy?
wordy. I don't like the wordy.
Uh, how about Miley loves the little children?
Passion of the Cyrus. Um,
Passion in the USA. That's what we're calling it.
Passion in the USA.
Passion in the USA.
I like it. I mean, it kind of fits with the football theme too and everything
It's
like
so
that.
many
No,
meanings.
I dig it. I dig it.
Oh, that's great. So that is this week's episode of Side Splitter.
Oh God.
No. Whew. Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. Okay.
Thanks again to Will for the awesome theme song. I hope he continues to make music for us after this episode.
Yeah. Thanks, Will.
Thanks to Countdown to Geektown for your continued support, guys. And like I said, let me know when you want me to be on that football episode. I swear that's the last I'll mention of it. And last but not least, thanks to all the people that commented on last week's episode and is getting my ass to Chuck E. Cheese and in a ball pit. As much as I despise it, I do appreciate the support and you guys listening and actually participating in the ridiculous things that we come up with. So that's really cool. We will definitely be going sometime, hopefully this week. That's the plan, and be able to give a full report on next week's episode. If not, definitely the following one, or we'll at least give you an update on the next week's episode to let you know how things are going with it. So be on the lookout for that.
And I would like to add that if you guys enjoyed this little segment of Make the Case, if you have a particular topic you want to hear either of us make the case for, feel free to leave a comment describing it, and I would love to read some of your guys' suggestions.
Even better, if you guys have a specific controversial topic, not too controversial.
I don't want to get lynched from this.
Yeah, I don't want to go too hot button on this one, but stuff that's completely ridiculous. I wouldn't mind having them decide, like, okay, so for example, why should it be the norm for you to send your parents' friends dick pics or whatever, or your friends' parents dick, not your parents' friends,
Yeah, no.
your friends' parents,
Friends' parents.
right, dick pics. It'd be cool if like maybe Andy had to explain why it is okay, and I had to argue and debate with him why it isn't okay. And you know we get whatever points across, and they decide who says what, or even better, mix it up a little bit, make it so that Andy has to say why it's okay for people to send their friends' parents' dick pics, and I make the case for why it's okay to send your parents' friends' dick pics. you know, Something like that. Come up with some fun stuff, and we'll definitely talk about it on the pod. That's a good idea, Andy. I like that. So definitely get you guys involved and let us know what you think. And let us know what you think of the segment altogether. It's certainly not replacing clickbait news. It's just something fun that Andy wanted to try out, and I said absolutely go for it. I didn't know what it was, and once he told me what it was, I was like, oh boy, can't wait for this. Um, so yeah, that's that. But yeah, like I said, that's this week's edition of the Side Splitters, aptly titled "Passion of the uh, Passion in the USA." Almost forgot it for a second
There
there.
you go.
Passion, Passion in the
Yeah,
USA.
yeah,
No, yeah, Passion in the USA. But let's do that again.
yeah. yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not that. I meant the exit. That'll do it for this week's edition of Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And I'm Andy.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Bye.